Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly trainings of Entrepreneurs International Network. My name is Iman Agai, the founder of Entrepreneurs International Network. And with me, I have the amazing Becky Askerland, the organizer of Entrepreneurs International Network. And super excited for today's training with the amazing Maia Hope, who is going to talk about how to be unshakable during the uncertain times. Maya has been in the industry for quite some time, actually, talking to people about making the best decisions and creating very sustainable situations for themselves and making like kind of going through crisis, but in a crisis-proof manner. She's been leveraging 3 decades of mental health expertise to create crisis-proof leadership, equipping executives with practical tools to regain emotional control under pressure, make confident decisions in high-stakes situations, and sustain their vitality amid daily distractions. So, Maya, thank you very much for joining us today on this call. I'm just going to hand the stage to you and just listen in and take notes. If you guys don't have a pen and paper, make sure that you have something to take notes with, because what Maya is going to share is going to be very beneficial, and implementing it can help you a lot with your business. Maya, you're up.
Thank you, Aman. It's so great to be here with all of you today. Let me go ahead and pull up my, can I share?
You should be able to, but let me just make sure that you can. Becky, can you make sure that Maya is co-host?
I got it.
You got it?
Thank you. So, hold on, let me, let me get this to go. There we are.
Perfect. Look at that.
Welcome. Welcome to How to Be Unshakable in Uncertainty. So let me guess, you're the one people rely on, the anchor, the steady hand, holding everything together at the office, at home, even when the world seems to be unraveling. I have a confession to make. I read a weird amount of nonfiction, and I don't get a single college credit for it. So one of my pet peeves is when truly brilliant people can't make things simple or practical enough. So let's not do that today. What we're covering today is the real meaning of crisis-proof leadership, the biggest myth about staying calm under pressure, one practical tool you can use today, like seriously, we're going to do it during the presentation, crisis-proof beyond the office, and the ultimate vision, what if you could have a crisis-proof team? Then I've got a gift for you. If you have a question that comes up while I'm speaking, jot it down, and there'll be plenty of time at the end for Q&A. Okay, so what is a crisis? Merriam-Webster says a crisis is an unstable or crucial time or state of affairs in which a decisive change is impending, especially one with the distinct possibility of a highly undesirable outcome. So there's a lot in there that depends on your perspective and your opinion. So for me, a crisis is simply a disruption, internal or external, that hijacks your focus and undermines your potential. This can be personal or professional with different levels of impact. So here are some examples of what a crisis might look like personally. So short-term examples would be like a clogged toilet or the Wi-Fi's down. A midterm crisis could be a sick child or a car that doesn't start. Long-term crisis could be an injury, a chronic illness, loss of a job, divorce, or the death of a loved one. In the professional space, it's very specific depending on your industry. So for 11 years, I had a private practice as a grief and trauma counselor. So for me, a short-term crisis usually involved a sudden death, and I needed to show up on site to offer support. A midterm crisis would be follow-up care to a suicide attempt or acute trauma support after an assault. Long-term crisis in that position was something external, like the cancellation of benefits or the COVID pandemic. So likely you already know the worst case scenario that could happen for your professional circumstance. And you've probably already mapped out a response plan. So first you assess what happened. Then you discern, can it be resolved? Then you choose the action. What does it require? Afterwards, there's the debrief. What did you learn from this situation? So I would like to suggest that regardless of what happens, it is possible to not be completely derailed. What do I mean by crisis proof? What I mean is that you are able to be calm, clear, and confident no matter what. This wonderful world can be an extremely messy place. As responsible as you could possibly be to prevent a crisis from ever happening in the first place. It happens. Stuff breaks. People get sick. Mistakes are made. The question is, when a crisis happens, what will happen to you? There is no more important time for you to have your full decision-making power available than in a crisis, especially when it affects many people who count on you. My guess is you're like me. Whatever it is you do, you've mastered it. Your ability to run on autopilot is impressive. That means when a crisis hits, personally or professionally, if they're not involved, they don't need to know. Crisis-proof leadership means you handle it so well. Whatever's going on inside, no one sees a crack. So what makes you crisis-proof? It starts with emotional agility. Most people think this is some superpower that I was born with. Absolutely not. So I grew up in an unsafe home, a couple blocks from what was then referred to as the murder capital, Washington, D.C. I was the furthest thing from crisis proof for a long time. That motivated me. So now you benefit from what took me decades to master. And now you can do it with ease and speed. So stick with me, and I promise I'll give you a practical and effective tool with immediate results. Okay. So we have one more word to define. Leadership. So Merriam-Webster says leadership is the office or position of a leader, the capacity to lead, or the act of an instance of leading. Well, I don't really care what your position is. And I don't care too much about your capacity to lead. This is what leadership means to me. Leadership is the courage to make a decision and act on it, regardless of how popular or unpopular it may be, because it aligns with your core values and the mission of your organization. And because it's more than just your freaking job. And you sleep better when you live in integrity. Why is this so important to me? Why have I given up a successful career in the mental health field to focus on leadership performance? You may have noticed a number of crises on the planet we all call home. in my opinion. One of them is a leadership crisis. There are too many people in leadership roles who are not behaving like leaders. It's not titles that make the difference. It's actual leaders willing to make critical decisions who shape what happens next. This is not the time to run on autopilot. And this fancy frontal lobe, our ancestors worked so hard to create for us. It gives you the ability to apply advanced logic and troubleshoot complex situations. It's only available when you're not overwhelmed. The media culture feeds drama. It constantly throws around reasons why you should be freaking out. This requires your best discernment. The gap between your instinct and your logic must be clean. See, your body is set up to protect. Your mind is built to resist change. As the leader, your job is to create change. This requires action, even when your nervous system says, no way. The key to doing this well and doing it sustainably without burning out your body, blowing up your relationships, is mastering emotional agility. That's what keeps you connected to all the things you want to access: your clarity, your strategy, your leadership edge, powered by your amazing frontal cortex. The biggest myth around staying calm under pressure is that you have to be calm all the time. So does that mean I'm calm all the time? Absolutely not. Though you won't find those reviews on my website. The truth is, calm isn't about emotionless. It's about presence when it matters most, when you are the focus, when you set the tone. Your job in those moments that matter is to let people know through your energy, your voice, your body, I'm clear, I'm confident, I've got this, I've got you. They don't need to know about all the emotional gymnastics that happened behind the scenes. And here's the kicker. In order to embody that calm for real, it's actually better if you feel both ends of the spectrum. The worst case scenario, the best case scenario. Staying calm under pressure isn't about being above it all. It's about staying clear while you stand in the storm. That's what your people feel. That's what earns their trust. So here's one practical tool we're going to practice right now. The quickest way to trick your body to relax is with a long exhale. You see, when stress hits, the body usually does one of two things. You either hold your breath or You breathe in a really shallow way, like panting. And pro tip, your lungs aren't up here. So, sigh it out with a long, audible exhale. And then inhale deeply through your nose, filling your lungs. And exhale even longer through your mouth. This lets your brain know you're safe. And your nervous system will respond immediately, helping you feel more in control. So let's do this. Let's do this a couple times right now, okay? So inhale and exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. So what about away from the office? Your investment in being a crisis-proof leader is not just for your colleagues and employees. Take it home. It's not just a leadership flex. It's a life upgrade. Emotional agility doesn't clock out. When you stay solid under pressure, arguments de-escalate, parenting shifts, relationships are safer. Communication breakthroughs change how you speak to everyone, not just your team, your partner, your kids, your friends. And your resilience becomes contagious. When you show up steady, others regulate faster. You stop the spiral at the office and beyond the office. The ultimate vision. What if you could have a crisis-proof team? Having one crisis-proof member of an organization is great, especially if you're the sole proprietor. What if you have hundreds, even thousands of leaders in your organization? What if all of them were crisis-proof? No more little fires everywhere. They don't escalate minor issues into chaos. They handle them early, cleanly, without drama. Less firefighting for you, more forward momentum for everyone. What if people actually want to come to work? When pressure doesn't lead to panic, something powerful happens. Trust grows. The office feels safe. And that changes how everyone shows up. It's not just getting through the day anymore. It's contributing to something worthwhile. Problems get handled, not broadcast. A crisis-proof team doesn't amplify stress, it solves problems. There's no need to sound the alarm every time something feels a little off. You don't hear the panic, just the win. The fire's already out. Being unshakable in uncertainty isn't about having all the answers. It's about keeping your power while you find them. You don't need to control the chaos. You just need to know who you are when it hits. Not perfect, prepared. That's what I call crisis-proof leadership. And to help you with your next step, I have a gift. The Crisis-Proof Leadership Playbook, 3 strategies to stay clear, confident, and in control under pressure. What you'll get: regain emotional control in 60 seconds, the quick technique to reset your mind in high-stakes moments. The 3-step decision framework for leaders. Make confident choices, even in uncertainty. And the energy audit. Identify and eliminate distractions that drain your focus and resilience. So just go to www.crisisproof.info and you'll find that there. And now we have plenty of time for Q&A if anyone has questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Maya. Really appreciate you. Let me bring myself here back on camera with you. And thank you very much for that. So let's go to our audience and see actually how everybody is feeling when it comes to the crisis and the situation. I noticed, Maya, when you were talking about the holding your breath and exercising, I remember that at times when I am stressed and running the companies and something happens, I actually do that. And sometimes it's not holding the breath momentarily. It feels like 3 days or 4 days or 5 days I haven't breathed. And even it's an interesting thing, actually. Yesterday, I had a very important meeting at noon, and around 11:45, I felt I'm getting sleepy. And I know that that happens due to stress and due to kind of anxiety. Like at times, it's a defense mechanism of body. And that's exactly what I did. I actually put some meditation music and I just sat and took some deep breath. And even though it doesn't feel like, I mean, it's breathing, like what the hell, And yet
Right.
doing that played a very important role in yesterday's meeting, actually, and ended up being massive success, something that I'm pretty sure without that exercise wouldn't happen. And so I appreciate it. With everyone who is on the call, what are the experiences that you had where something of crisis was happening and you were looking either for a solution or something that you did that that impacted? You can go ahead and raise your hand digitally and we can bring you here, like we can unmute you to share, or you can put that in the chat box. So Ryan, you're off camera, so I can't add you to the spotlight, but you can speak if you want. Or now you're on camera, so I can add you.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I agree about the leadership needing to be calm I was very lucky to experience this recently. I work in manufacturing, and we had a maintenance, sorry, not maintenance, a plant manager that was really, really good at this. And he's not only respected, he's like loved, actually. Like people love to have him as a boss because he's so calm. He collects all the information from everyone. He hears everyone's viewpoint and then he makes a decision. He doesn't just go with like the first like panicked response or panicked information. So yeah, I learned a lot from him. I wish I could have worked with him longer and learned more from him, but yeah, and I'm starting to see this in communities I belong to where women are in leadership as well. And I just wanted to give Maya a compliment that your energy throughout the presentation was so calm. Like it was so easy to accept the information. Like the pace was nice. It's different. It was very, my mind was almost like tricked into paying attention. I have ADHD, and because it was so like slow, like a slow delivery, and there was a lot of like I think intentional pauses. Um, yeah, it was just really, it was really accessible, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ryan. Thank you for sharing that. Awesome. Actually, continuing on what Ryan just said, we had a person that I was talking to, actually, a friend of mine who was working for a company, and she was saying that since her manager changed to a high-stressed manager, like the new manager is highly stressed, two of their team members ended up actually going on a stress leave, like literally going on stress leave, including herself, who ended up at hospital with anxiety. Like she literally passed out at work and she was rushed to the hospital, and they were like, this is stress and anxiety. And she was the second team member who this happened to in that team. And she's been working there for like 8 years and she never had this. But in the last 6 months, two people had that just because a manager changed, and this new manager is highly stressed about everything. So she's passing it off to all her team members. That was very interesting. So
It makes a big difference.
right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody else has anything that you want to share or tell us, or any questions anyone has? Awesome. Katya, you are up.
Maia Hope, I really love how you define leadership. I can easily make decisions and act because my decisions and actions align with my values and with my mission. I really am very fond of that definition. That resonates a lot for me.
Thank you. I'm glad you could be here today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing that. Awesome. Perfect. And with that, Maya, do you want to talk about your gift one more time? We'll put the link in the chat box, and I think that brings us to the end of today's call.
Okay. Well, I can let me share that.
Actually, Becky put that for you in the chat box already.
Oh, okay.
It's on it.
Great. Yeah, so I have a free gift that has 3 strategies to stay clear, confident, and in control under pressure. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm open to connecting with you in whatever way makes sense that I could be of service to you and your organizations. So thanks so much for having me today. And let's stay in touch.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Maya, for joining us at Entrepreneurs International Network. And thanks everyone for being on the call. We look forward to seeing you on another event, seminar, conference, where we are having another amazing speaker with us at the Entrepreneurs International Network. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone, and bye-bye.